Hey everyone, Mark here from Now You Know Videos. I got a project today where I need this board to be cut exactly in half. So if I take the tape measure and I measure the full length of it, it measures out to be 21 and 11/16. So what's half of 21 and 11/16? Well, rather than try to kill your brain trying to figure that one out, there's actually a trick you can perform with a tape measure to find out where the center of this board is in a matter of seconds. But before we do that, let's take a look at the tape measure for a second. Seems like a simple piece of equipment, simple tool. We've got this tape measure body and this coiled up tape with some numbers on it. But there's actually a lot more going on with tape measures. So let's have a look. So if we look at the starting end of a tape measure, we'll notice that the metal tab at the very end, it's held on with a couple of rivets, but it's loose. And it's actually loose on purpose. You see, if we were to count up all the small little lines in the first inch of this tape measure, we would only get up to 15. But in order to be a complete inch, it needs to be 16. And that is because it's taking this thickness of this tab at the very end and counting that as another 16th. Now, if we pull this out taut and we do an outside measurement, we get that extra 16ths. So the inside of that tab to wherever we're measuring out is going to be accurate. So this would be 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and 4 inch. But in order to do an inside measurement, this is where that looseness comes into play, and it has to be pushed in. Now we're going to count the thickness of that tab as well as all those other small lines, and we can do our inside measurement. And speaking about inside measurement, what if I needed to know the exact height on the cubby hole of this shelving unit? Now I could take the end of my tape measure, hold it there, bring the other end in. I'd have to bend it here near the corner. Looks like it's 13 and an eighth. Could be 13 and 3/16. I'm not exactly 100% sure. Well, did you know that on most professional tape measures, there's actually a measurement here of what the actual width is of the base of the tape measure itself? So from this end to that end, it's exactly 3¼ inches. So that means I could actually use this on the inside, just sit it down there, bring the end of the tape measure until it's nice and tight, lock it into place. I can read it 9 and 15/16. Well, I add 3¼ inch to that. That gives me 13 and 3/16. Another feature of the tab on the end of a tape measure is that slot. You can put a nail or a screw on the end of a piece of wood and then hook that on so you can take a long measurement without worrying about the tape measure coming off. So now let's look at some of the features written on the tape measure itself. This particular tape measure is both imperial and metric. So on the top row we have inches. When we get up to 12 inch, it's marked as 1 foot. Continue on, 24 inches, 2 feet, etc., etc. The bottom row is in metric, and it's in centimeters. And every 10 centimeters, it's marked in red. So we've got 10 centimeters there, 20 centimeters, 30 centimeters, and so on. Now, in a lot of professional tape measures, even within the first few inches, it'll tell you the total length of the tape measure itself. In this particular case, this is 5 meters long, or 16 feet. Now scrolling out, once we pass the 12-inch mark, the next significant point is the 16-inch mark, and that's marked in red as well. The reason why that is that's the stud-to-stud spacing for building walls in North America. So that's 16-inch on center between studs. Continue on a little bit further still, we've got this diamond mark. And it's in a very weird spot. It's not on 19¼ it's not on 19 1/8, it's not even on 19 3/16. It's just a little off to the right. Well, that's actually 19.2 inches. You see, in I-beam floor joists, where they're going to utilize full-length sheets of plywood, which are 8 feet, well, if you divide 8 feet, or 96 inches, by 5, you'll get 19.2. So that'll be the center of those floor joists, those I-beam floor joists. And if we scroll out a little bit further, the next marking is going to be at 38.4, and so on and so forth. So now back to that tape measure trick I promised you. When you need to find the center of a piece of wood, but the measurement's a little bit odd, in this particular case it's 21 and 11/16. Well, what you want to do is you want to take the end of the tape measure, slide it off towards the corner. Now on the other side, you want to slide this over until we get to a nice even number. In this particular case, it's 22. We divide that in half, that's 11, which is right over here. Now if we take our measurement, we've got just a hair under 10 and 7/8. Measure it the other way around, just a hair under 10 and 7/8. So that's the exact center. So there you have it, everything you wanted to know about tape measures, but were afraid to ask. Thanks for watching.